I see that the latest from Reuters news agency is describing catastrophic discharge of the river flowing downstream. What's the latest you're getting there?
Hello, Mark. Thank you so much for having me. Right now, our main concentration is on saving people and making sure that people are evacuating. We are extremely concerned about people who are at the temporary occupied territories and if they are getting enough help. We know that the water is just coming and will continue going up throughout today's day. We are encouraging volunteers to go that way to help people with whatever is possible. And this is the main goal.
However, I understand that the Ukraine Atomic Energy Agency is saying that the nuclear plant, which is further upstream, of course, that seems to be okay, that the situation is not critical there.
It is not critical. However, let's look at the situation from a different perspective. President Zelensky has warned the world in October last year that Russians have mined the Kakhovka power plant dam and that we are one step away from the real tragedy. Right now it happened. For the last year, we have been saying to the world, look, the situation on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant is critical. And again, we are one step away from a nuclear tragedy. And if Russians are good in anything, they're good in committing the false flag operations. So let's do possible and impossible things to make sure that we secure the station. As of right now, the situation is not dangerous, but we cannot guarantee that it would not change. And we are calling for the international support, for the UN, to make sure that we instill an international spectators in the nuclear plant, because we do not know what's going to happen there. And coming back to the results of the terrorist attack today in the morning, it is not only humanitarian disaster, it's ecological disaster that we will not be able to repair in decades. And the harm that is committed against our country is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, the European Council has already declared it sees this as a war crime because this is obviously a civilian infrastructure target, not actually anything that's military. And I gather that the Ukraine are calling for an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council in what they described as a Russian terrorist attack. But on the ground, can you give us an idea of what sort of things you're having to put in place? Because, I mean, I gather the estimate could be tens of thousands of people affected by this.
Right now, it's very early to say about the amounts of casualties, but again, our concentration is to make sure that we get as many people out as possible. Our emergency services are working. Our soldiers are helping out to get people out. And there are many people who are not taking it seriously because the water did not come up, but we know that it can happen really rapidly. You have probably already seen videos, and you are showing them now, of houses basically flowing in the water. And this is what is happening throughout the region. And it will be happening more because right now we are not at the peak of the water going up. Yeah. And this is, of course, terrifying. You know, there is a huge difference between us and Russians. We talked about that. There is a difference between democratic regime and authoritarian one, because for democracy, human's life is the most expensive currency, and for authoritarian regime, it's the cheapest one. So we see that to stop us from the counteroffensive, they would not stop at anything, at killing potentially hundreds of people and killing their own soldiers, just to prove the point that Ukrainian army would not be able to march forward.